Some consistency. A lot of the ANC leadership, be it the Youth League or the Women's League, are worried about the state of affairs within the ANC, in particular in Gauteng. Especially the Youth League, we heard them saying that there are people that get positions and they do not deserve those positions. And he was cautioning the Premier of the province that he must deal with those individuals that have actually been appointed to key positions without the right competence. This is exactly what the SIU, as well as the Auditor General, were telling Parliament this week when they presented that report to Parliament. They spoke about the challenges in Johannesburg as well as in Tshwane, saying that a lot of the challenges emanate from the fact that there are people in key positions who don't have the competency to be in those positions. So it seems like that is the worry within the ANC, within its leagues, whether it's the Youth League and the Women's League. The Women's League saying that there's a lot of patriarchy within the ANC. A lot of women leaders are undermined by the males in the ANC itself. But we also heard the ANC Premier as well as chairperson in the province finally addressing that issue of the reconfiguring of Gauteng. We know that the ANC had actually cautioned against this, saying that the leaders of each province, whether it be Gauteng or KZN, should actually not speak about this issue until it has been resolved by the top officials who have basically taken this decision to reconfigure these two provinces, but they have not pronounced themselves on how this reconfiguration of the two provinces is going to go. But Panyaza Lesufi saying that they agree with the leadership that there is help that needs to be placed in both provinces because they perform dismally, and without this assistance they will not improve going into the 2026 local government elections as well. We also heard Panyaza Lesufi speaking about the Democratic Alliance and the partnership at a national level by the ANC and the Democratic Alliance, saying it's undermining the ANC. He even gave an example saying that here in Gauteng there is no partnership with the Democratic Alliance, and the ANC in Gauteng is proving that there is governance is possible without having the Democratic Alliance. So they're calling on the leaders of the ANC that if the Democratic Alliance continues to undermine the ANC by, in some instances, refusing to implement bills that have been signed into law by the president, then they should be removed. There is no use, according to him, being in that partnership with the Democratic Alliance when they continuously undermine the ANC. But we also heard from the national leadership represented by the treasurer of the ANC, Gwen Ramohopa, as well, reminding the ANC structures that they need to go back to being part of the community and making sure that they basically work with the people and reconnect with the people going into those local government elections where the ANC definitely needs to pick up its electoral support coming from that dismal performance tab.
Now, speaking of being in the community, they are in the community of Alexandra. It happens every time, even when President Cyril Ramaphosa was there tends to be some politicking, cheap if you want to call it, that they tend to do. I mean, the Premier saying he's going to take all the budgets for 2026, 2027, and they are all going to Alexandra. I'm sure it's one of those comments that he might want to later clarify.
Indeed, Thabo. This is not the first time that the people of Alexandra actually are just getting promises that the ANC might not be able to keep. As you may remember, in 2019, the president of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, came to this very stadium and he made that promise of, I will give 1 million homes to the people of Alexandra. We heard him last year, 2024, in August, now turning around and saying that he did not mean that the homes are going to be built in Alexandra. They were going to be built across the country. And even that, the ANC has failed to build those 1 million homes. So even this promise by Panyaza Lesufi does not seem like a promise that the ANC will be able to keep. If they pour all their budget to Alexandra, what is going to happen to the other municipalities in the province of Gauteng? So these are some of the things that we would have wished to speak to Panyaza Lesufi about after that address, but he did not want to speak to the media, and he has since left, as well as the treasurer of the ANC. They all left after they gave those addresses tab.
What seems clear is that the reconfiguration, is it still for you something that has not yet been fully ventilated, I suppose, within the leadership in Gauteng as to how it's actually going to be formed?
Indeed, Thabo, we did speak to a lot of PEC members of the ANC while we were here, and the same question that they themselves were asking was, how is this reconfiguration going to happen? Are they going to disband? Are they going to reinforce? And if you are going to reinforce, how is the ANC going to do this? Because the only way that individuals can be co-opted to the Provincial Executive Committee of the ANC is through the Provincial Executive Committee themselves making that determination. So that is the challenge that the ANC is going to have at a national level, whether now they have to force the PEC to co-opt some NEC members into this Provincial Executive Committee and then make sure that these individuals are there to strengthen the ANC in the province. But also Panyaza spoke about how this has affected, this uncertainty has affected the Provincial Executive Committee members. He said that some of these members are no longer attending meetings because to them they have given up. They've said that we are going to be removed. So why should we continue with the programs that we have been doing? So this is affecting the ANC now, and the prolonging of this by the National Executive Committee seems to be having a more negative effect than the effect that the NEC was trying to have in these two provinces. Because you know that the national leadership was supposed to speak to the provincial leadership last Monday. They still haven't communicated anything, according to Panyaza Lesufi, according to some PEC members. But the National Working Committee of the ANC is going to be meeting tomorrow. So maybe they will make a pronouncement after that meeting of the National Working Committee.